Welcome to Kitchen kwa Mai Farai. Kana kwa Mai Farai kwa kitu sana mdazai kubika chitaura nyaye zedu sema Zimbabwe. Moni za kubika.
Welcome to Kitchen kwa Mai Farai. Today we're going to cook something wonderful. I'll show you the ingredients. We're making South African sausages, chili braai it's called. Let's see. Okay, so this is what we have. We have sausages. We're gonna need our sausages, onions, garlic, always garlic. Mai Farai loves garlic. We're gonna use Knorr cubes, Maggi cube, chicken Maggi bouillon, Worcestershire sauce, and some adobo spices. And on the side, we will have kale. And with that, we're gonna make some salsa, salt and pepper, and tomatoes. Let's not forget tomatoes. So this is a traditional Zimbabwean dish that some people usually on Sundays, people will have that on Sundays. So let's get cooking, guys. Let's get cooking. Okay, it's time to cook the chili braai sausages. I got these from the South African store here in Langley, British Columbia, and the store is called Serengeti. So, well, we're back home. People usually just put this on a barbecue, and we call it braai, gochi. But today, I'm just gonna cook it in a pan. I'm gonna make it my own. But I remember my mom. I think I actually stole this recipe from my mom, kinda. So, and because my grandmother Ashworo loves sausage, mabruvus. So I'm gonna cook 3 of them. They come in a package of 5. So I'm just gonna cook 3 because the rest I'm gonna save for another day. Back in the freezer it is. So we'll cook that. Quite a delicacy. It is a delicacy indeed. So I'm using a non-stick pan. Non-stick. So this is spicy. It's a little bit spicy. So we'll cook. So what people usually do, they will just, cut it in little bite size, maybe a little bit, bite size chunks. But I prefer to cook the whole sausage, and then that way I retain all the juices still in a little, that little film thing, that like plasticky thing, but it's edible. I like to keep all the juices. So once I cook it to my liking, then I will then cut it into bite-sized pieces and do what I want to do with the rest of the recipe. That's just me. Mai Farai on it as well. No, that because Mai Farai not will fight it as a Mai Farai. Okay. How could we be cooking today without a glass of wine, bourbon, or whatever? Let's get something to drink. Desorona. That's what I have. Desorona? No, not Desorona. Desorona. Let me see what it says. Desorona. Not Desorona. Desorona. Good for the soul. Very, very good. Ramshes, yummy. That's what I'm drinking today. But while I'm drinking today, it's just a good day today for me. I just reconnected with an old friend of mine. We had a falling out, and we didn't talk for about maybe 6 years if I'm not mistaken. Chaka. I don't even remember what we fought about, and for 7 years we didn't talk. and I missed my friend. I missed him. I don't know if he missed me. Bye bye, William. Wait. My English is too already. I don't know. But yeah, I missed my friend because this friend he's a good friend of mine. He's been there for me and my family, you know, no questions asked as well. But maybe this is why we had a falling out. He's a good friend. He's that kind of friend that tells you the truth, whether you like it or not. So maybe because of ego issues, I know I have one of the biggest egos in the world. Maybe he said something, or maybe I said something, but for a few years we were not talking, and I missed him. And then a few weeks ago, I got a phone call from him, and I get a phone call from him, but I think I was at work. And then after work, I phoned him back, and we just started talking as if no time had passed. We just got back to our friendship, the way we joke, the way we make jokes, the way we talk about families. You know, it's so if you've had a fallout with your with a friend, I hope you can reach out. If they're a good friend, no apologies ever necessary. You will just, when it's time for you to reconnect, rekindle, it will just happen. You will just go back on the path. Huh, Andika? So it's nice to have good friends like that. Like, but I have always known that even when we were not talking, if I ever needed him, I always knew that I could always call him and say, I need help, no questions asked. But you know, egos, stresses of life, I wasn't ready. But thank you for reaching out, and I'm glad to have you back in my life, Kaka. Okay, so we have cut our sausages into bite-sized pieces. Now we add onions, one whole onion, I want to say a big shout out to my new fan. I saw your comment on YouTube. I think your handle name is at Bright Official or something like that. Okay, Bright Official, if you're watching, hello, how are you doing? I hope you like this recipe. Keep on watching. Don't forget to subscribe, click like, and we'll keep on going. And did you guys share with your friends? We gotta make this big. You never know, one day I'll be giving you a call and we'll be on the red carpet together, and we'll be going to the Oscars. I'll be going to the Oscars with my favorite fan, Right Ed Official. Anka, thank you. Okay, so we fry our onions. I've reduced the heat down a little bit because we don't want to burn the onions. We want to make sure we're cooking the onions slowly, keeping all the flavors here in the pan. Okay. This Rona. Seriously, kwa Mai Farai. Mai Farai. Mai Farai. Vano Farao. Okay. So our onions are going. I got salt and pepper. I love pepper. Okay, salt and pepper. I think I'm gonna put a little bit of garlic. Not garlic, curry powder. I always like curry powder. I like to add a little bit of curry powder because it makes the whole place smell good as well. Doesn't matter what you're cooking. If you add a little bit of, just a little bit of curry powder, makes the whole place smell good, and all the neighbors will be so jealous, thinking that you're making something out of this world. Mai Farai, Mai Farai is ready. I'm just going to add the heat, increase the heat up a little bit, but not too much, because you don't want to burn anything. You want to brown. You want to brown. You don't want to charcoal the food. Antika. Mai Farai, Mai Farai. It's looking good. Okay. I have my cube, my no cube, and this one is beef flavored. So crush it. This one is good too. It makes everything taste good and a little bit sharp. That Maggi cube. Just 1 cube. And remember, when you're adding salt, remember I added some salt in the beginning. I didn't use too much salt because all these little cubes, they are packed with salt as well. So you don't want to over salt your dish. So, there we go. So crumble. Onions are looking good. Onions looking good. How have you been? How is your summer? Do you have a good summer? Are you having a good summer? If you're not out here where it's summertime, is it winter where you are? How is it? How's life? Kuyagodola. Anzi kuyagodola. Ayisisingwe kumura mabachi. It's not ilanga lezi kumula mabachi. Today is so bad. So today it's both all-purpose spices seasoning. It's called all-purpose seasoning, adobo. And people from the Philippines, they use this, I think, if I'm not mistaken, but it's very good. This one is a little bit bitter orange. Just makes it a little bit sweet, but I don't use too much because remember there's a little bit of salt in all of these things. Now to my favorite thing, garlic. But before we garlic, cheese. Cheers, not cheese. I like garlic. Garlic in the garlic is good for you. So many health benefits, like I've mentioned before in my other videos. So many good benefits. And it makes the whole place smell wonderful. Even out on the streets, it smells wonderful. Wonderful, 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 wonderful. And I like a lot, but some people don't like a lot, but I like a lot. Garlic aroma on my fingertips. Anska. Please do not forget to like, click subscribe, and like on my Farai. I'm just going to add another one, a little fourth one. Yeah, voila. It smells amazing. It smells amazing. Last but not least, tomatoes. Oh, and Worcestershire sauce. Is there anybody out there who has a hard time saying the word Worcestershire sauce? Just a little drizzle. Voila. Mai Farai. Mai Farai. Mushawa baba, oh God, I almost forgot. You could use a chicken bouillon cube. You could use it, but I think I'm going to use my chicken stock. I have chicken stock in my fridge because that's a little bit too salty, and I've been using too much salt already. These I got from Heritage Meats here in Langley, British Columbia. It's right across Willowbrook Mall. There you can find whatever you want. They have ostrich meat, they have crocodile meat, they have, no, they don't have lion. They have crocodile, they have rabbits, they have elk, they have deer meat, they have bison, they have everything. So I'm just gonna use like a teaspoon. Smells good, looks good. And I'm gonna have this with cornmeal. I'm gonna have this with salsa. And then I'm gonna have kale on the side. Kale on the side. Because you must always have vegetables with your meals. I like it's healthy to have vegetables. And kale, for me, it's easy to make and it's tastier. I grew up eating kale, or something like kale. I grew up eating that, so it's easy for me to eat. Cook it or eat it. Oh, look at that! Ah, delicious, delicious. What's cooking? Good looking. Yeah, I am. What is that? It's been there the whole time? I hope not. Anyway, back what's cooking. Okay, it's almost ready. It's ready. Right. Aiwa. Aniz magaiva. Zinguru muna nodolin zaka andili muna singadolin zakaiva. Oh, happy birthday to my brother Ashlav, all the way in the United Kingdom. Ashlav Sabartawana, happy birthday. Makura Shibadiko Guara, happy birthday. Mara kuropa fadze misinge nguwa zuwa makore mindokura mindokura kudzaisa musha. Happy birthday Ashlav. Anditska, I almost forgot that Ashlav is my brother, is my baby brother. He's the firstborn baby boy and I am the firstborn. zithethe kakhulu, zithethe ezikhulu madile. Okay, that's it. Very good. A splash of water just to have more sauce. It's good. Right. Off. Thank you for watching. I'll show you the end result, and when I plate it, I'll show you. Okay, hi, welcome back. So today we're gonna make some sadza cornmeal polenta. Okay, so for one person you will need 5 cups of water. Boil it, and you will need, how much is this? 1 cup of cornmeal, dry cornmeal, and you will add cold water to this to make a paste. Just a little bit of water to make it like a little paste. Make sure everything is mixed together, not too thin, but just a little bit of a paste. But be sure to make that everything is mixed in with the cold water. Okay, mix in, mix in, mix in, mix in, mix in with your cold water. Okay, 5 cups of boiling water, 1 cup of cornmeal, a little bit of water to make a paste so you can mix all the dry flour together. It's important that you mix everything with cold water. Okay. We're gonna need a traditional cooking stick if you have one. Hopefully, if you don't have one, you can use one of those wooden spatulas or the silicone spatulas. That will work as well. Okay, so our water is almost boiling. At this point, it's almost boiling, but at this point you can start the mixing. Let me just add a little bit of water. This is too fine. Just a little bit. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So slowly we will add. Okay, you gotta move a little bit faster. You mix together in the hot water. First with a spoon. You mix. And that this cornmeal that we're making should be enough for 2 people or for 2 servings, depending on how much the people eat. Okay. So the reason why we mix the flour in cold water is because we don't want any lumps. Because if you just add the cornmeal into the hot water, you will have lots of lumps, and it's not going to be fun eating or getting rid of the lumps. It's hard to get rid of the lumps at all. So that's why we use cold water. Okay, so that's done. And then I go back in with my cooking stick, and in my language we call this mugoti. M-U-G-O-T-I, mugoti. See? So, and your temperature should be just a little bit above medium heat. Okay, you see the texture is already getting there, because we're gonna let this boil again for maybe 7 minutes, 8 to 7 minutes, I would say. Oh yeah, it's getting there. Oh, it's nice. So far we got no lumps, so this is good. Okay, no lumps, and it's getting a little thicker. That's good. So the next 6 minutes to 7 minutes, I'll let it boil, and then we'll come back, and then we will add more flour to it, to make it into a thick paste like mashed potatoes. And while we're doing that, while we're waiting for this to cook, let's see what else we can do. And it's been 6 minutes, 7 minutes. So now this is, this part you have to be careful because everything is boiling. So this is what it looks like. This is what goes on. Okay, move your lid. Okay, so now we're going to slowly see how thin it is. So we will slowly add our cornmeal. Okay, slowly add and mix, and make sure your heat is still at the same temperature, and you mix. I would say try every time you do it, try a quarter cup, so that's the second quarter cup of cornmeal. Mix to your desired texture, but it has to be thick, so this is what we call, in my language, in Shona, this process we call kukuvura sadza. Kukuvura sadza, sadza riri kukuvurwa. And make sure you gotta move like a little bit fast so you're getting rid of the lumps. Another quarter cup of cornmeal, so that's our third quarter cup. And you mix, just keep mixing. And this is when you would hear my grandmother, because the elderly women, they know how they've been cooking this. They know the real traditional way of cooking. My grandmother would be like, Jenny, urukuvura sadzere we, urukuvura sadza mna urukuvura sadza turi asadza nemapundu baisu urukuvura iwe mayo. So, and remember, so where my father is from, he comes from a very, very big family. So I think I had, at the time when I was growing up, I had 6 uncles, an aunt, the grandkids, relatives. Oh, my grandmother was so lovely. She would feed anybody, all the workers who used to work for her, they would be fed. So we would have a big pot. They used to call it, I think it was a 20-gallon, or maybe more than that, maybe more than 20-gallon. So 20-gallon of cornmeal. So that was another quarter cup of cornmeal. So at this point, mix it. You see, that's still too thin. That's too thin. We want it a little bit thicker than that. And then that's when I reduce my heat just a little bit, so I'm not burning. So you gotta mix it. Mix. Make sure all the lumps are gone. Okay, I'll use 1 more quarter cup of cornmeal, and that would be my last. So we have slowly used about 4 quarter cups of cornmeal to get to our desired texture. That's my desired texture. It's not too thin and it's not too thick. Okay, so we still mix. You need for beginners, I recommend you use a bigger, wider pot. That way you're not making a huge mess. Okay, so mix. So traditionally, I heard about this. If I witnessed that, I don't remember. But as a bride, a Zimbabwean bride, you get married. They do their traditional. The families meet up. They exchange gifts, whatever, and then as a bride, you go to the guy's family, And I think it's on your first evening you make food for everybody in the kitchen. And in the kitchen in Zimbabwe, this is in a village. It's a huge kitchen. It's a round. It's thatched with grass, and there's in the middle of this big room you have the fire and the stove. So it's open fire with the stove, and then you have all the family. They're there as a bride. You're there cooking. They're observing you. So you would show off your skills, like you're cooking this humongous pot. You got a huge cooking stick, fire blazing, and as a good girl, you come from good people. You've been trained. You're like showing off your skills. You're like you're playing with it. You're doing all of your skills. You let it go. You and everybody's watching, and they're like, we got ourselves a good wife here. Well, I thank God that it never happened to me. I wasn't married in Zimbabwe, and I didn't have to cook for anybody, for a big family like that, because I would have failed. First of all, I don't like fire. I don't like to get burnt, and I don't like the smoke. I don't want my eyes to get hurt. I would have been a useless bride. So there we are. We've made our paste. Yeah. So our cornmeal is ready. I recommend that you don't make it too thick. This is thick enough. Too thick, then I just like it simple like this. Okay, so you're done. And then I will reduce the heat to minimum or simmer. And that way it will just keep the whole pot warm until you're done. Our food is ready. Dinner is served with our Yellowtail Chardonnay, chilled, and this is what it looks like. This is so yummy. I hope you try this recipe, enjoy, and thank you for watching Mai Farai. Thank you. Oh, so no nakakaroon this. Oh, very amazing. Thank you very much.
Planning away, malishoni langa, konintengane mfunguzwi sayo.